Hi everyone, welcome to APEX Airwaves. Got me, Julian.
And I'm Alex, and today we are bringing to you Fyre, aka Dan, aka Fyre, aka Dan, over at his shed. Is it your shed?
This is the cabin. This is where the magic happens. Pleasure to see you boys on the live stream.
Absolute pleasure to have you here. Absolute pleasure. So, before we begin, we want to introduce you. Tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us what you do. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what your postcode is. Tell us your house number, your phone number, your email, your passwords, everything about you.
Well, as you've introduced me already, I won't go over that again, but I will anyway. Why not? My name is up there on the wall. My name is Fyre, and I've played quite a few times in Guildford in the local area. I've been doing it for a while, and I absolutely love drum and bass. To be quite clear, I do listen to other music as well, but it is my favorite genre. And that's all the details you're getting for now, boys.
Oh, keeping it secret. Oh, give me goosebumps on my back.
I think what we want to know more about.
You talk to us a bit more. Oh, sorry. What? No, I was cutting up.
No, go on, Julian. Go on. You go.
I was gonna say. So, why don't you tell us a bit more about Sound Street Radio then? Like, what's it all about then?
Cool. So, Sound Street Radio, we are a English and Japanese radio station. The Japan side is a real mix of all music and new music. We've got resident DJs Daisuke and Steve and Tink, and sometimes Tox doesn't really do it anymore. But yeah, anyway, you get the picture. And on this side, we're mostly drum and bass, and we absolutely love it. We do all drum and bass, not just one subgenre. We do old school, new school. Johnny and Redmond have been doing some old school shows for us. And then we've got Beanie that also comes in once a month, bringing in some guests for us, which is absolutely fantastic. Big shout out to the Beanie on that. But yeah, so there's four of us at this end. It's me, Johnny, Redmond, and Sam. That is Sound Street Radio.
Right. Okay. I mean, you featured other guests on as well, haven't you? Like you had was it Tej you had on?
Yeah, we've had Tej. Believe it or not, a long time ago we had AC13 on here.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I want to put on the TV.
On the page actually, if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, we'll link it down in the description.
Yeah, we'll chuck it in the comments for people.
Links down there.
Just go down, check that out.
Just always down there. Everything you need is always down there.
Yes, please. But we've had loads of people. We've been really lucky. Everyone's been super friendly when they come over. And to be honest, I've played a couple different internet radios, and you always kind of end up having the same thing. Where you go in, it's a bit dark, it's a bit cold, there's no one there. It feels like no one cares almost. And then you've got to pay your money and go.
You've got to pay that? Wow.
Yeah, most internet radio stations now, you've got to pay when you want to go on.
Really?
Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit shitty.
Is that
actually a norm? I would have thought, if anything, I would have thought they'll be paying you to get on, or at least like featured you in some way.
No, I'm not going to name any other stations, obviously, but there's loads of well-known ones where you can very easily get on, but you have to pay. One which I will say is absolutely excellent, though, where you don't have to. Well, actually, no, you do have to. So I'm not going to say that.
You nearly called someone out right there. Nearly already. Wow. You've been on here for what, 4 minutes?
Starting beef.
Yeah, anyway, I guess it depends who you are these days as well. Like,
so how long have you been doing this? How long have you been doing internet radio for? When did Sound Street Radio come about? Like, or just your sort of general online?
3 hours ago. 3 years ago.
In fact, it just started.
It's a couple
about 3 years ago. Okay.
It's about 3 years ago now. Steve started it in Japan because all the radio out there sucks. It's just all chat shows and no music. I started mixing about 3 or 4 months later and started doing shows. It wasn't live streams originally. It was just like podcasts, record it. My first show sucked. I re-recorded it 6 times. I pretty much knew the show inside out before I even got rid of it. Nowadays, it's a different kettle of fish. But yeah, it's just one thing led to another. And now we're very lucky to have this space at the bottom of my garden.
Undisclosed location. We're not going to dox you.
about 10 minutes drive.
Underground bunker.
If anyone wants the addresses, exact postcode,
link down
house
below.
number. But yeah, no, I think what I'm curious about is more kind of, do you do kind of event side on that sort of? I mean, I spoke to you on the phone with this before. I mean, I'm going to call it a brand just because it has a bit of a wider reach than just on internet radio. So, but do you do events as well?
Yeah, we to be honest, never meant to be an events thing. Sound Street Radio. It was for a long time. It was just live streams, and that's how we kept it. But it reached the point where in Guildford, myself, I really wanted to play a gig out, and you get let down a lot, especially if you've never played out before. Loads of people were just like, "Oh yeah, we'll get you on the next one," blah 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 blah, and it never
Classic, yeah.
And I was so fed up with it. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to throw my own event and put myself as a headliner. Why not? And
Why not?
Since then, I've met so many great people, and I haven't looked back. Especially Johnny. Johnny has helped me shit tons. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you can cuss. You can say some.
It's
cuss
okay.
words.
We're not going to tell mummy.
We'll bleep that. We'll bleep
Yeah,
that.
don't worry, this isn't church. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, but yeah, Johnny especially has helped me so much at this end with building it up. We've done quite a few events now. Probably done about 12 or more in the Guildford area alone. We've done one in Brighton, and we're looking at hopefully doing stuff in other locations from next year. God, please clear up the coronavirus.
Oh, please. Yeah, tell us about it. Oh
my God, the stress.
So who would be the dream headliner if you could throw a show with any headliner? Who would your dream headliner be?
Well, if money wasn't an object, I don't know. I'd quite like to get like an original group back together. Maybe like the original Bad Company with like that would be pretty cool. I think if
double drop the nine,
then that'd be sick. But at the moment, I'd say always got to be Break. Break is just sick.
Yeah, no, I do like Break's tunes. Very nice, junglist sort of vibes.
So with as well your top headliner, what would be your like dream venue? Again, money wasn't an object. Say dream venue.
I don't know. I'm all about production, to be honest. I love somewhere that's got loads of lights and lasers, and don't care so much if it's just a really big venue. The location is good. I've got to say the drum shed looks pretty fat, but print works every time.
Oh, that's a classic one. Yeah, I mean, I think I would say the same, to be honest. I think for me it'll be Primworks as well. I think I don't mean there's anything to compete in terms of like venues.
They just always put on such a good show.
But I'm surprised they still got their sort of, because you know what happened with who was it, Michael Bibby, a few years back.
No.
That pipe burst. I'm surprised it still got such good rep despite that.
Oh, I mean, it was an accident. It was some idiot swinging on a pipe as well.
Oh, that, yeah.
Fucking hell, cars out of the jungle over it.
I think we've all been there on the tube where we've been swinging from the rafters.
Yeah.
He was just emulating that, just on a bigger scale.
Baked beans.
Yeah, big boy baked beans.
Yeah. Well, I want to dive into a little bit more of your event side, because so we had some DJs, come on, but I want to touch a bit more about, your experience with events, how that's come about, because, I mean, I've done events. Julian has helped me out with a couple of events. We were trying to get an event as APEX, but, unfortunately, something happened. Yeah, something small happened, unfortunately, where everything in Europe and the world is now shut down. So, unfortunately, but we want to know, we want to know more about that, because, I was in your position where, you're a small bedroom DJ, you want to go out there, you want to play some gigs, I mean, I was fortunate enough that I had some links thanks to my other work, but, how did you go about your first gig, your first event? How did that come about? How did you, begin it? How did you find your lineup? Tell us more about that.
Well, actually, I originally went into partnership with a friend of mine called Alex, putting on Thatch Fest.
Oh, Alex Thatcher, no way. I remember him from college.
Yeah,
Man.
everyone seems to know Alex. I don't know how he does it.
Oh, fucking hell.
But yeah, Mr. Thatch
That's a
Fest
throwback,
himself. We did a little duo. I think the old poster is around here somewhere.
What, didn't he get boo? He got boo or bow or bow, whatever you. Boo. Sound like fucking Brian Bedondi.
Yeah, there you go. There's the original poster back from the day. The old logo and all that stuff. Oh, it's not
Bloody hell.
Stay there.
Wow.
But yeah, that was planned the set from start to finish almost. There was almost no inspiration throughout. They used to have a really old mixer in there as well. It was DJ.
What venue was this?
It was indeed 33 Hertz.
Hey! Oh!
Yeah.
We're not going to go down that pathway. We're going to leave that avenue alone.
I'm leaving that out. But like I was saying, it was a cool setup at the time. 2000 in the middle, two decks, and since then it's changed a lot. That fantastic brand new mixer they got there. It's literally the same as mine. DJM 900 Nexus 2. They've got 2 brand new CDJs and then I think 1 older one. But when like AMC comes through, they have to get 4 decks in because it's part of the whole show. You know, you can't have
Yeah. Part of rider. Yeah, no, I've seen a couple of DJs that we approached, and a couple of them on their rider says clearly, you have to have 4 CDJs and 1 mixer. And in the venue that I did events in, it's a bit of a struggle because so they have 2 CDJ Nexuses and then 2 just normal 1000s, and they don't work. They just don't work. Like you put the USB in, they play a song, but for some reason there's just skipping. It just sounds awful. Like they're just not working right. So I remember he told me that I'm not going to say the DJ because I'm going to get them wrong and I don't want to get the venue in trouble because it will come back to me. But they actually put the decks there, knowing they don't work. And the DJ, who is he's part of a big crew, which probably gives it away, but he didn't use them. He didn't use the 2. He only used the 2 which were working, not because he knew they didn't work, but because he just didn't try. He didn't need 4, but he asked for 4, and it was just like, oh, okay, cool. So why?
Yeah, what's the point? Why?
Was it a bassline artist?
No, it was a drum and bass artist. It was one that I didn't host. It wasn't me hosting it. So it wasn't me. But anyway, right. Back to
different keys and stuff. Pain.
Yeah, well, baseline will make sense. But yeah, right. Back to your events. Right. So who was on the lineup? How did you go about that? How did you market it? Seeing as it's a first event. I mean, we found that as well. I'm sure a lot of event organizers will find out hosting your first event is really difficult in terms of marketing because you don't have a backbone to begin with. So how did you manage through that?
Well, to be honest, before us, there wasn't a lot. There was Base Science had come like a year before us, and then during that year was like Breeze, and then settled down for a bit, and then it was just us for a while, for a few months, and we did really well out of it. I think 33 did probably the best out of all of it as well. I mean, they've got such a great crowd in there now, so it's always a vibe. Always a vibe. And also,
it must be tricky now.
The lighting, the new lasers.
Yeah, the wall of lights. It's fucking sick. But I suppose it must be tricky now because they've got Oryx about, don't they? Is it Oryx?
Yeah, it's their in-house.
They're collective. Yeah.
I mean, it's been going for a long time, but I mean, I think they just became more official with being like in-house and drum and bass is this day and so on and so forth. And to be honest, at that point, Mondays weren't really worth it anymore if you're going to have it on a Friday. So, you know what I mean?
So it became saturated. What you're saying is that, as I said, it's become saturated.
That's a matter of personal opinion, but like I said, it's just my opinion.
So what I want to know, so you're also a DJ. I mean, would you say you're mainly a DJ or a radio presenter or event, or what would you say your main thing is?
I try and do a bit of everything, to be honest.
If you could do just one, out of everything.
I'd love to learn how to produce music properly. I've been learning for a while now, but it's a slow game, and you just got to put a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be the hottest artist of 2020?
Hottest artist of 2020.
Like who's been climbing up that ladder? Who do you think is going to get there at the top? Then the 2020 will be like, he'll post, a nice little fucking... Oh no, you can't really post festival highlights, can he? It's all gone diddly squat. But yeah,
I don't know.
Well-
We haven't seen much of 2020, and I'm not going to see much for the rest of 2020. You know, it's quite hard. We're going to be running off live streams, unfortunately. I think
Yeah.
that's the best one.
Is there anyone on live streams that has caught your eye and you think, I mean, hit them in, or you think that, you know, has been doing bits? I mean, I can name one person, AMC, I think I saw literally yesterday. Mate,
AMC.
those live streams.
Oh,
Looking at you know, your DJing, obviously, you know, you DJ as well, you did events. I mean, you mentioned before we had a call that you did a show in Japan. So, I mean, how was that? Because obviously that's a very different culture. I mean, like, just before the call, I did not expect that to come out of your mouth, really. I didn't expect that to be a thing.
Well, I mean, I'm extremely lucky to have the connections that we do to Japan. I really wanted to go out there and meet the rest of the team. And we thought it'd be a really good idea to see if I could sort out like an event or just a small little gathering out there. And luckily, one of the people that listens to Sound Street and was doing shows at the time was running a club called Massive, which was not massive. It could hold about 15 people.
Misleading.
oh.
And yeah, we played to a sold out crowd.
Oh, wow. What? All 50 heads. Woo.
So small. There was no DJ booth.
hell.
You had to put the DJ controller on the bar, and I had to play from the bar whilst he was making the cocktails next to me. Yeah, it was
Hell.
fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Boiling in there is probably the hottest. That I think at the time in Tokyo it was like 42 degrees. It was horrible.
Oh, fucking hell.
At night was sweltering. But, yeah, shout out to the Japanese team. Toshi as well. Toshi, yeah.
But saying about playing at the bar,
Yeah.
I mean, that is quite literally how I started. The first ever, I mean, I wouldn't say gig, but time I played out in public, that wasn't a uni flat or it wasn't my uni room, was at a bar. Funny enough, it's already shut down. I'm not going to take the blame for that, but and I just remember, I mean, the first time they
Who's this
literally...
Alex guy? Ooh.
The fuck? I mean, I remember the first time they literally rolled up a table next to the bar and they just placed he placed 2 CDJ 1000s on there and a mixer. And the mixer wasn't working, one of the CDJs wasn't working, and he was just like, well, why can't you play? And I was like, are you serious? But I mean, we managed to get a set out of it. And believe it or not, I got a residency at a bar like every other week to play there. And I brought on 2 other geezers that like helped me out with it. But I mean, everyone has to start somewhere, let's be honest. Like, no one really starts, you know, in a crowded festival at Creamfields. They don't go main stage as their first gig. Like, you have to start small and somewhere. But anyway, right, we are moving on somewhere else. Gotta say, your top influences for DJing. Like, what are your people you look up to? What are the people that inspire you, that, you know, you take in from for your DJ sets?
Well, let's say right, top 3 best sets you've ever heard / witnessed.
Top 3 best sets. AMC at Let It Roll last year was absolutely incredible. Or Andy C at the Wembley Arena was sick. I can't think of a third one. I was at Boomtown, but I mean, you couldn't even see like half the acts because stuck behind the massive crowds, and also wind and relic flying piece of whatever that was. Yeah, I'd probably have to say, Break at Boomtown brought a little bit of sunshine to a very wet weekend. Loved that set.
Was that 2019 or?
Yeah, that was last year. Yeah, that was awesome. In terms of like DJs I look up to, I mean, it's not all like A-list people. I've got some friends, Pathogenics, Subject, 2 of the sickest DJs I know.
Oh, yeah.
I've learned loads from those guys, and I'm sure they've probably done the same for me as well over the past few years that we've known each other. Keist as well, sick MC.
Oh, Keist Cortez.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
wicked. Yeah.
Oh, man like Keist, yeah.
And then like some of the big dogs, I guess I've got to say Deadline. Obviously, Ollie, he's been helping me so much with my production. And like the really big dogs, any of the Worship crew. For me, I love their music. Any of the Worship artists I mentioned. Cult Shock's the nicest bloke on earth. Shout out to him. Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. So you warmed up. Well, you played alongside Coach Shock, haven't you?
I've been lucky enough to play alongside a lot of people, mostly thanks to 33 Hertz. But as time's gone on, I've been also lucky enough to book some myself, along with Ollie, and also I don't know, I don't want to flex too much, but
No, go for it. Flex as hard as you can.
okay, my biggest achievement is playing alongside the big dog Andy.
Really?
No way.
Where was that?
That was in the Mill in Birmingham. Shout out to Weird Science for that.
Bloody hell.
And then best warm up would probably be, at the time it was AMC, warming up for AMC with the man. This guy bumped into me behind me. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm trying to mix. Just turn around, he's there. I'm like,
You nearly swung at me. You nearly turned around like, yo, what? Oh, shit. All right. Not going to start that.
Can you imagine?
Mate, and then the thing is, though, he's so cool. Like, I dropped the track. He just, like, leaned over. He's like, yeah, mate, I'm sick. And I was like, yeah,
Jeez. You know, you kill it when you got a big boy like him gassing you up.
I think the nicest thing I've ever heard, though, was Mephius was just finishing his set, and I was getting ready to come on, and he turns around to me, and I was filming, and I think he thought I was trying to ask him if he was finishing, and I was going to play. He was like, "Oh, just one more tune, please." I'm like, "Mate, knock yourself out!" Like,
oh, please, just one more.
Nepheus, that's another big name. Jeez.
I've been really lucky.
And obviously Dimension as well. I mean, there's a poster behind you right there, saying Dimension. I mean, that's another big one. So out of every single top dog that you, I mean, we say top dog, out of the big flight acts, the ones that are super mainstream, if you could play a set with them back to back, just one of them, who would it be?
Alongside them, as in like...
Yeah, back to back. Yeah, back to back.
I would love to play with... I'm going to have to... It's got to be AMC or Subfocus.
Oh, all right. I respect that. So we're going to slowly but surely wrap it up. And the one question, so usually if it was an event, we would ask a question, are there any events coming up that we can talk about? But as we know, that's not exactly possible. So if you were a DJ, would say about the coming up gigs, but is there anything coming up that you want to give out?
Actually, I might be able to. I've started running a little tutorial for people that want to learn how to mix.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I ran through some real basic. Well, actually, I did way more than I expected when I watched it back. I basically did all my material for like 4 episodes in one. Tune in next Wednesday. More teaching on Sound Street Radio. Like the page, please.
Perfect. Well, plugs are coming at the end, so keep some of them. But one question that we ask all DJs is, if you could play only one track, and every single bootleg, every single mashup, every single remix of that track for the rest of your life, only one track, what track would it be?
It's got to be probably Afterglow, Wilkinson. Pretty
interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. That's a good choice. I mean, I know there are some good remixes out there, so do you know what? I support that. To just finish off, we're going to give you now the space to plug anything you want. You already plugged your stream, but feel free to plug anything you want right now. Your socials. I mean, anything you want right now. Up to you.
Cool. So obviously, shout out to Japanese crew. Thanks for supporting on that side. Make sure to follow anything that is to do with Sound Street Radio. Everything you want to know about it.
Down below.
At Sound Street Radio on basically everything. And there is live shows when Corona is gone from whenever that ends. Yeah, cool. Thank you guys for having me on as well.
No, honestly, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming along. It's been great chatting to you. And for you guys at home, thank you very much for tuning in. And we are hopefully going to catch you next time. By the time you listen to this, we are going to have at least 3 episodes out on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, so make sure to tune into that. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.